All right, welcome along, viewers, for another edition of Heads Up, and good to see you, Goat. It's looks like it's a sunny day there in Wanganui, and got a good race meeting tomorrow. But we have a special guest with us today.
Yeah, as you might be able to see, based on the little naming thing down on the bottom left there, we've got a jockey joining us. One of the inform apprentices, inform jockey, full stop. Actually, this season, Chelsea Burdan. She doesn't think much of my tipping ability, so I've been renamed for this week from the goat to the goose. But it's great to have Chelsea here, and I'm sure she'll provide a lot of insight this week. And maybe you can tell her, Neil, how annoyed you were that she beat your horse last week in the Kiwi Fruit Cup. Here she is.
Welcome along, Chelsea.
Thank you, Neil.
Yeah, no, thanks for joining us. And I wasn't too unhappy when Junior got up for you in that race at Tauranga yesterday. So well done there. Was that one of your biggest ones?
Yeah, probably one of them, apart from the good old Waverley Cup.
Yeah. And just talk us through that race, because you've coming to the turn there, you were getting stuck into him.
Yeah, he always hits a bit of a flat spot, so just really needed to get him through that, and that was Sean's biggest fear was just getting him through his flat spot, and yeah, he managed to get the job done.
Yeah. And 100 metres out from the post, were you pretty confident of winning, or what were your feelings going through your head?
No, not at all. About three of them swamped me, and I was like, oh, this is it. We're going to run about fourth or fifth here. And then he just kicked back. So, yeah, it was a great thrill.
Yeah. And you'd ridden the horse once before?
Yes, yeah. I rode him down at Taranaki where he just got beat. He ran into third place. So,
right.
Yeah.
Now, viewers watching this, we've got a few sound problems, so the mic has to be quite directional. So just excuse us moving the camera around as we talk to Chelsea and the goat. So, okay. So I've got quite a few questions for you, and I'm sure the goat has too. But I was just reminding myself of your first win at White Pukarau on a horse called Late. I won't mention the name because that's going to be a question we'll have for later on. And this was it a mare or filly?
Mare.
Mare, okay, and talk us through that day before the race. How were you feeling, and how confident were you?
Obviously, it was a bit nerve-wracking, like going out there having my first race. But I'd had plenty of trials to sort of prepare myself, and yeah, it was a big drive down there, so that was also another factor. And I had to ride light, so yeah, it was all compacted into one. But got down there. I think it was about 2 races before me, and Charlotte O'Byrne fell. So my mum was beside herself and she was freaking out. So yeah, it was just good that I got across safe and won. So yeah, big thrill.
Did you think it got up on the last couple of strides there or not?
I had a good feeling, and people were cheering out. So yeah, I definitely had a good feeling about it.
Yeah, I'll put up a link to that race too so people can see that. And, right, Goat, have you got any other questions? I've got a few here.
Just on that Kiwi Fruit Cup, Neil, because I know you're a fan of Betfair and in-play betting. You know, there was a bet, I don't think it was very big in terms of dollar-wise, but 699 to 1 was traded about Junior, obviously at about the 100 or 150 metre mark when it looked gone. Unbelievable.
Incredible. No, it wasn't me anyway. I hope it was you.
It wasn't me, and I'm sure it wasn't Chelsea either, but yeah. No, that was good. Well, the feature race tomorrow, obviously, Neil, is the Foxbridge Plate. All the big guns are stepping out. Commencement of the spring campaigns. Avon Taj, the $2.10 favourite, trialled up very well at Taupo. The lady beside me reports her track work's been outstanding leading into this. All boxes look to be ticked. Good barrier draw. Danielle Johnson taking the ride. Wait for age suits. My only question mark, Neil, is one start at Te Rapa for a fail in the BCD sprint in February. But other than that, you'd think she'd be winning. But what have you found?
Yeah, it's hard to go past the advantage, isn't it? She's class mare. She's won in Australia, and she's trialled well, training well. Jamie's confident, so I think she does look to one. Maybe 210 is about right, but we know the money can come for Te Akau runners late in the day. I spoke to Ken Kelso about Supera during the week, and also Princess Keruru, and he was pretty bullish about her chances the way she's been training. So maybe Princess Keruru, especially if the inside is okay, she is a definite each way chance at good odds. But and travelling light, I do like as well, as she can close off an outstanding sectional. So those three for me. Julius, gee, looked well on trackside the other day. Looks fit, drawn out wide, so needs the inside to be off. What do you reckon?
I'll give you one. If the inside isn't necessarily the place to be and you can kind of make your run and come wider on the track, I wouldn't ride off Tavi Mac. Now, all logic says, how can you be tipping Tavi Mac? He's been running in open grade races, not against any stars. But I just got a feeling he might be the surprise package. So stable's in good form. Country's leading stable, I believe, at the moment, still the Alan Sharrock stable. But here we go. We'll get Chelsea to give her thoughts on the Foxbridge.
Okay, Avantage. You must have seen Avantage track work, Chelsea. How's she been going?
Yeah, and as you said, like her track work has been outstanding. So yeah, I think she'll be a really good chance. And she's a tough filly, so tough man, so she'll really put in.
Right, and that track, a lot of riders talk about the kickback with the sand there. What are your thoughts about the kickback there?
Yeah, it can be quite. Yeah, it can be quite testing. It is. Yeah, it's a real horses for courses track, that place. If they handle it, they handle it. If they don't, they don't. And yeah, the kickback can be quite rough. It's definitely improved over the few years. So. Yeah.
And do you like riding at Te Rapa? It seems like a nicely laid out track, apart from the sand. Is it a nice track to ride on? Yeah,
it can be a real nice track to ride on. I don't know why, but I think I prefer to ride on it during the winter.
Yeah.
It's the only time I've had any luck. So, yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned luck. Are you a superstitious person?
Not entirely, but I definitely have favourite tracks and not so favourite tracks.
Yeah. You have any sort of lucky charms or anything you do before a race or a race meeting? A certain routine and way of doing things?
I shouldn't be giving away all my secrets on the day. And yeah.
And I know Ted's taken over managing you the last month or two, and he's doing an outstanding job there. So you must be pleased with the way that's all going.
Yes, I am. Ted's been very good. He's always ringing in to check how you are and asking how the day went with the horses and what one you liked and all sorts like that. And he's been very helpful and really happy to have him on the team and helping out. You could say he's my lucky charm.
That's right. Well, it's good. If you've got confidence in somebody, it certainly helps with their career. As you're 19 and soon to be 20. We'll talk about that in a second. But now, with your routine at Te Akau, what's your typical routine? What time do you get up and what are you doing? So,
get up around just after 3 o'clock. Be at work by about 3:40. Get your first 2 to 3 horses out, saddle them, put them on the walker, and just ride about around 9 to 10, sometimes more. And after we've finished riding them, muck out, clean up. That's pretty much the day, and then go back at 2 o'clock, help feed up, muck out again, put everything on the walker. And just apart from days where I'm going to the trials or races, that's pretty much the everyday routine.
Yeah. So do you have a day off?
I get you get a half day off, 2 depending on the week, and every second Sunday off.
Right. And I see your walking weight is 51 kgs according to NZTR site. So how is your weight and managing your weight and everything? How's that going?
Yeah, it's actually been really good this time around. Strangely, post lockdown, it's been pretty easy to keep down in that. Like the likes of tomorrow, I've got to ride 50, 52. So it's quite easy to maintain and definitely a lot easier than when I was claiming 4 kilos or 3 kilos, trying to get right down to that weight. But definitely managing it a lot better now.
Would you see the inside of the stalls very often?
Not so much anymore, thank God for that. But back when when I first started off, I was walking around 54, 55 kilos at least. So it's just good to be able to maintain my weight down now. And yeah, it makes life so much easier.
Yeah. Oh, terrific. Okay, go. You got anything else you want to add there?
Not really. What about, well, we'll talk about the Wanganui Guineas. We touched on it. Chelsea's got a ride in it. Power on, 1 start, 1 win. The track, it'll probably be puggy. It's a beautifully fine day here in Wanganui today, and I don't think there's any rain forecast tomorrow. So, interesting race. A lot of horses like Power On have had 1 start for 1 win. Mogador, I think there's a bit of a rap on that. Fraser's looking to go back-to-back, having won with Cougadoon last year, and the same sort of lead-in too. Had 1 run before the Guineas and won that. So Mogador profiles pretty well. Only Words, I think, is well favoured in the market too. But have you got any thoughts on that race, Neil? Are we going to be celebrating Chelsea's 20th birthday with her winning the Guineas, or something going to spoil the party, so to speak?
Oh, crikey, did the way it won on debut, it just kept on giving, didn't it? Out wide at Tiara over there on a heavy track. So drawn 5. So Chelsea, depending on where the track bias is going to be, which is normally out wide, but the rail is true. I see there tonight. Have you had a chance to walk the track at all yet at all? Or?
Not yet. I might do that later on, and I'll report through. I might even get Chelsea to do some pre-race homework, like the good jockeys David Walsh and Lisa Allpress do, so we can hold her up in that echelon of top class jockeys.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Chelsea?
Yeah, I think that would be good. Put that on the cards today. Be good to check it out. Yeah, I'm quite liking my chances with the Guineas tomorrow. She looks like a tough filly, so yeah, should hopefully be bringing home the money.
Yeah. Have you ridden Power One on track work at all, or this will be the first time on?
This will be the first time, but I've just pretty much been rewatching her race over and over again to try and get the sort of idea, and I'll be talking to Ashvin tonight to see if he has any tips or pointers. So.
And tell me, we've got Lisa Allpress and Danielle Johnson, 2 top class riders. Lisa having gone over to overseas and been successful overseas. Has Lisa been giving you some advice as you go along?
Not entirely. I don't personally have much to do with Lisa. Also with just being down in Central Districts and that. But and she's out at the moment, so but
Danielle,
yes, Danielle helps out. She's always been good to talk to. Same with Sam Collett and girls like that. Sam's always been a big help as well.
But I remember watching Danielle when she was starting off riding, and she didn't use the whip very much at all. When she did, it wasn't very well balanced. But and within 2 or 3 years, similar to you, she really started to excel and come along really well and to where she is now. And just watching you ride that first race on Lady something, I won't say the last name because that'll be a question later on, to where you rode the horse like Roller yesterday. That was just a magnificent ride. Just talk us through that ride on Roller, because you in the trail there with about 600 metres to go, tracking the leader. Talk us through from there what you did.
Yeah, thank you. So we weren't so sure about how she was going to jump out the gates, but she put herself up there, so we're in a nice handy position. And as you said, got to about 600 metre mark, and I could see the leader was just slowly rolling off the rail. So I thought, no, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to wait for her to fully roll off. And once she'd done that, I made my move and got going, and she just managed to hang on really tough against Class Clown. So yeah, it's always good to get one over the line.
Yeah, and I think that was the winning of the race, just waiting for that horse to roll off the fence. 600 metres to go, you got through, you got the lead with that Classic Clown, was it, I think, on the outside, the favourite.
Yeah.
And just that going through the inside, got that half-end advantage, and so well done. And then knuckled down and well balanced, using the whip really well. So
Thank you.
You've only been riding, 2 or 3 years now?
Yeah, we're coming up. Yeah, just over 2 years. So yeah. No, it was just it was really good.
Yeah. I can see why you well sought after, and your allowance, weight allowance is coming at 2 kgs now, isn't it?
Yes, 2 kgs. I think patience definitely helped yesterday with that race.
Yeah, that's just really impressive to see. And
thank you.
What made you get into racing, race riding? Anyone in particular, or just?
Ever since I was little, I've always wanted to be either a jockey or a trainer. So, following at least those footpaths. I grew up around Kate Hurcott, who was a pretty good jockey back in her day, and I used to help with pre-trainers, and then she introduced me with TRKL, and I started working there on weekends and then after school, and just got more and more interested, and it was like, this is what I want to do. So,
dream job, eh? It's great. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
And if anybody, if there's young ladies or young guys who are watching this who are thinking of taking up race riding as a career, what's one thing you would suggest to them to do or not do?
It's a game that you really got to try and hold your head high. There's always people there that will be trying to put you down. You just got to, tough it out, get your head high, and not listen to any of that. Just look after number one. Like, always, care about the people around you as well. But, and if it's something that you really want to do, then do it. But, I think you've got to have your heart fully in the game as well.
That's so good to hear. And how do your parents cope with your race riding?
I think Mum gets quite nervous. She doesn't like watching me ride at the time, but then if she sees I got round safe or whatever, she'll go back and watch the race after. But she's too scared to watch it during.
Now, I was at Tauranga races when I think you were going round to the start, weren't you? And you came off. What happened? Just talk us through that. What happened there?
I was just heading down to the start when my horse shied at the crossing, and instead of letting go like anyone else would, I tried to hold on to him, and I thought, I've got this, I'll pull him up, and he ran straight over the top of me. So I just did a lot of nerve damage to one side of my body. It took about 2 weeks to start getting the feeling back. So it was like a temporary paralysis sort of nerve damage thing. But some days it plays up and I ache and whatever like that, but it could have been a lot worse. So just happy that everything's all good.
It's all part and parcel of the occupation, isn't it? So
yeah, most definitely.
You got to be tough, and you're tough for the thing as well. So good on you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Goat. Now you had a little siesta last week with the sports selection. Quite keen on something this weekend here.
Well, we can say we didn't back a loser last week, so that's positive.
We've got Junior up, crikey, but thanks.
We did get Junior up, thanks to a good ride. The rugby game on Saturday night obviously is going to probably capture most people's attention. The North-South game, Wellington, no crowd, but obviously we can't really go into any statistical analysis or historical performance on this game, given the nature of it, and that I don't think we've had a game like this for nearly 20 years or something. But I like this. I think it's a 50-50 game. I quite like the look of the South Island team, just quietly, Neil. I think they've got more to play for, and I'm picking them to win actually at $2.15 head-to-head, the outsiders. So, what do you reckon about that?
No, I think it's really good. I think a lot of Crusaders players will be playing on there, won't they?
Yeah, a few Crusaders. I just like that back three of Bridge and Will Jordan and Geordie at the back. Richie Moinga's probably the form number 10 at the moment, a pretty solid forward pack that should at least keep parity with the North team. So, we'll go for a South Island win in the North-South game. Saturday night should be worth watching after a good day's racing.
$2.15. Okay, we're on there. Now, last week's question was a really good one, well before Chelsea's time, before she was riding at Tauranga. And the question was, and the answer?
The horse that Opie Bosson rode in the Kiwi Fruit Cup, I think it was about 1999, I think it was. He was about 5 lengths clear at the 100, sat up and got beaten on the line by a horse called Quasin. But the question was, what was Opie's horse? And that was, of course, Watch Officer. And how many correct answers, Neil?
9.
9. Chelsea, pick a number.
I'm going to go with number 3. Oh.
Number 3, was it? Just broken up there. Number 3, was it?
Yeah, number 3, please.
Number 3. Tim will be happy. So, Tim, your bet's going to be on, it'll be on the sports selection of the GOAT with another horse racing tomorrow as well. So, look forward to that. Now, new question for the viewers, Mr. Goose.
Yep. Sorry, mate. We've got a bit of internet issues here, but hopefully we'll hang in there. Well, the question, you've touched on it 2 or 3 times already. First ever winner, if you know that horse, if you can remember that, you might have backed it. Text or email your answers through to Neil by Tuesday, and you could be in to win next week's.
Sounds like you've been drinking.
Multi-Chelsea saying, and yeah, from no drinking here. It's only 10.
I'll put a link to that first winning ride of Chelsea's, and that'll give you the answer to the question. So I had that in by Tuesday night, as the GOAT said. 027 352 6402 or formpro at formpro.co.nz. Okay. So we have a few technical problems here. Have to settle down. Waiting. Okay, we won't have time, but while that's getting settled down, we won't have time for Stump the Goat. Have you got me now?
Yeah, it kind of froze a bit there, Neil. So we might cut it short. Just on a quick bouquet, the race form, page 8. Go and read page 8 of this week's race form. You'll get a bit of an insight into our special guest today. But I think that publication's going well, actually, the race form. It's quite an enjoyable read, I have to say.
But there's lots of articles, horses that are racing coming up, and personalities. Is Chelsea in there, is she?
Yeah, full page. We'll get. Here you go.
Terrific. Oh, terrific.
One other thing, Neil. One other thing we need to touch on. Obviously, I believe BGP Radio starts this weekend, and I think you've been called up by Mark Clayton to do a bit of a review of the Northern meetings, and I'll be called up to do the review of the Central Districts meetings. So download that BGP app if you haven't yet, and 10 o'clock till 12 o'clock Saturday and Sunday mornings, if you are the kind of person that likes to listen to a bit of radio content. Yes, we know it is still via the internet, and if you are out of signal, it's not going to help so much, but hey, it's better than nothing, and I look forward to getting involved. And Mark Clayton, what a good man he is, so passionate, and great that he's come on board on the Sunday show.
Yeah, no, he's great, Clayton. Looking forward to doing that on Sunday morning, and tell you what, I'm looking forward to doing a head-to-head racing quiz between you and Clayton one day, because he's full of knowledge on racing, and so are you, so that'll be a good. And we might have some betting on that as well. Maybe the TAB can do some odds. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Good luck tomorrow, Chelsea, and happy birthday. I know you're 20 tomorrow.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, hopefully I have a little bit of luck. It'll definitely make the trip back home worth it. So
yeah, and
good luck to all connections.
Yeah, no, and Power On's going to be a realistic chance tomorrow, so we'll be all looking forward to seeing how you go on that. And you've got 4 or 5 other rides. Any other rides you want to mention tomorrow that you fancy your chances on for listeners?
Yeah, I think they've all got a pretty reasonable chance. Ted's quite confident, so that's always a bonus. And I wouldn't mind seeing Jacama Crystal make it into the field and see if she can handle the step up in distance, which I don't think will bother her. But I think she might be a good chance as well.
Oh, it's great. Thanks for coming on, because it's always good to see someone young like yourself who's just so passionate about the game and doing so well, and got a good sense of humour, and you're in the right stable, the perfect stable to have every chance of doing the very best in your career. And you see riders going overseas. Have you got ambitions to sort of go overseas, or just taking it day by day?
Yeah, I would definitely like to go overseas. I don't know how that would plan out right now, but yeah, someday in the future, it'd be something I'd really look forward to doing. So.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll follow your career with progress. So thanks for coming on, and Goat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, good, Neil. You have a good week, mate. And we'll see if we can continue with our get out of jail success and get that pull up to 10 grand. I'm sure we can find 2 more certainties and just keep rolling that money over. It was a pretty no stress watch last week, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. No, it was good last week, so hopefully we can do the same again tomorrow. Maybe we could stick it on power on for a place, but put the pressure on Chelsea. $3.5 grand a place. No, wouldn't do that for you, Chelsea. Anyway.
Oh God. No, hopefully we can provide that.
Yeah, no, we never know. Deerfield Goat looks pretty good tomorrow.
Going to be scratched.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, hot off the press.
Hot off the press. So,
yeah, that's thrown a bit of a spanner in the works, because that's what I was looking at. But yeah, I believe is going to be scratched. I believe so.
Oh well,
yeah.
We always have the option of passing if we don't like something. So
we'll find something. Don't worry, Neil. We'll find something.
Good stuff. I'll post those by noon tomorrow. Anyway, thanks for coming on, Goat and Chelsea, and everyone have a good weekend of punting. Great racing tomorrow. Foxbridge Plate, Tirapa. We're doing all the sectionals putting those up by Sunday morning. So there'll be a lot of winners coming out of that meeting for sure. Okay. All the best, Chelsea. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. See ya.